Today I'm chatting with Ode Osbourne, also known as the Jamaican sensation, I'm told. Ode's been at UFC for a minute now, and doing pretty good over there, won a lot of fights, and we recently met each other, and I just wanted to sit down with him and get to know him better, introduce him to you to tell his story to both of us a little more, and see what's going on, man. How you get over here from Jamaica, and tell me about this sensation, how this sensationalism happened.
Man. So first of all, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
For sure,
you know
man.
what I mean? So I grew up in Kingston, Jamaica. It's a small, tiny village called Bull Bay in Kingston. Grew up there until I was about 9 years old. And my mom came here actually before me when I was 8, you know? And so while my mom was here, I was in Jamaica. I was always an only child. And I lived with my grandma.
Too, also
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go. Only child power. Let's go. Lived with my grandma, actually. And you know how it is being an only child. You always want the desire for people to pay attention to you. That was me, you know, and I never really had that. I never had it because Jamaican culture could be a little rough, you know what I mean? Don't cry, be quiet, go somewhere. And so I always wanted people, specifically my family, to love me. They did love me. They just never showed it, you know, and I wanted them to love me so bad. And it just eventually over time, it just kind of had this fire. And I was like, I remember walking on the beach and watching the airplane go over Jamaica. And I remember thinking to myself, like, one of these days, I'm gonna get on the airplane and I'm gonna go to America where my mom is. And then I'm gonna do something great. I'm gonna be something great so that people can love me. You know what I'm saying?
One of these days, I'm gonna get on that plane and fly to America and whoop a bunch of dudes' asses.
Yeah, see, when I was little, I didn't know what I wanted. Honestly, I wanted to be an actor because I used to always watch TV and I would always see shows. And I was like, man, that's what America's like. You know what I mean? I used to watch Fresh Prince, Cosby, even Lizzie McGuire. And I'm like, man, America looks dope. I want to go to America. You know, and when I got here, it was everything and more that I'd imagined because of the opportunities. You know, where I came from, there's not many opportunities. So when I came to America, it was just like, I tell this story all the time and people are probably gonna get sick of me telling this stupid story, but I never had a bathtub or a shower. My shower was outside when I was growing up. And when I got off the plane in Brooklyn, New York, my mom took me home, and the first thing I did was get into the bath and filled it up with hot water because, you know, when you watch an American TV in Jamaica, you see all that, you know what I mean? You're like, oh man, I can't wait to have my first bathtub experience. So that's the first thing I did. I got in the bathtub, turned on the water, and I was like, man, it's like warm. The fact that warm water was coming out of the pipe was mind-blowing to me. I was like, how are they doing this? I'm like, what's going on? What the hell? Because where I'm from, it's just not a thing. So I remember having two thought process while I was in the tub. I was like, man, you know what? I'm never taking anything for granted from this day forward. That was number one. And number two, I was like, this is the greatest country in the world. You're gonna there's bathtubs? That's all I need. I don't need nothing else. So, you know, when I got into fighting, I originally was the oddity, and I was Ode the oddity. And I was like, you know what? I got to pay homage to my country at least and never forget where you came from. So I wanted to be the Jamaican sensation. So that's how that became about, to be the Jamaican sensation. You don't know what I go. Jamaican sensation.
You know, my grandparents have stories like that. I mean, I grew up in, I didn't have like a nice circumstance in America, but we still had hot water most of the time.
We didn't have that.
We had hot water.
Yeah, you were one up above me.
Yeah. Sometimes we didn't have a cell phone. Sometimes the electricity would be turned off, but usually for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, my parents were poor. You know, my dad made money for a while, but he went to prison later, and he was gone for a lot of my childhood. And then, yeah, my mother was I was on welfare with her. Yeah. And, you know, American poverty is still pretty dope, man. It's pretty good compared to, you know, I went to like 66 countries in the aftermath. And then you see how shit is in like real third world poverty. You're
It's
like,
different.
Like, all right, like,
It's
no, my shit
different.
was fine. You know,
You're like, all right, Flint, Michigan isn't so bad.
but yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree. There are water problems or whatever, and maybe to them it's very serious. But like, yeah, man, I don't know. Go hang out in an average place in Africa for a while, or you know, a lot of China, even a lot of India. There's not fresh water and infrastructure, and it's not that pleasant, you know. So the more I went to other countries, the more I felt grateful, as you said. I was like, all right, like people in America, they're complaining for no goddamn reason. There's a lot of fuss for nothing. And you know, you and I talked a little bit earlier on off camera of like why are people ungrateful or unsatisfied or entitled?
Yeah,
and,
where that comes from,
well,
I don't get it.
No, it's easy because they're very ignorant, and you know, ignorant means uninformed or unaware, and some you know, I'll use stupid as a separate word. They're ignorant and in some cases stupid as well, where they never studied history, they don't learn any real history, they don't learn how things are in other countries, and then they never been to other countries, so they never been there, they don't read about it, they don't know what happened before they were born, and then they're mad that, you know, hey, I was born and life is imperfect, so it must be somebody else's fault, you know. And I think it's really, you know,
the victim mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, I say disgusting is what I want to say, but like, you know, it's not impacted my life, but when I hear that type of chatter, I just like, oh, thanks for letting me know that I should like never speak to this person, you know, like that your brain doesn't work so well, then it'd be better for me to avoid you. So, you know, I appreciate when they send those type of signals and talk that way. They, this is wrong and that's wrong, and sometimes I'm on the plane, and even in first class, they want people trying to bond with you about some problem, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I usually just say, I'm not very friendly. And I usually say that when somebody's trying to yap at me on the plane, I'd be like very flat.
Yeah.
And I tell them, you know, I say, oh, you're confused. I'm not very friendly. But I just say it so flat, I'm smiling and laughing now.
Would you say that you're introverted?
No, I'm kind of right on the line. I'm slightly introverted.
Okay.
I'm slightly introverted. But, you know, I like to spend time with people that are doing something.
Yeah.
You know, that like, my brain's always doing something and solving something. So I don't want to make small talk over like complaining and, you know, I don't see a lot of champions complaining, man. They just get shit done.
Yeah, well, it's a when you said your brain is always doing something, it's a blessing and a curse. And you know what the curse is? 4:30 in the morning. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah, that's the curse, man. And for those of you guys that got that 4:30 brain, like you and I, oh man, I'm like, go to bed. I'm just like, no, I can't sleep. I gotta figure out how to solve this problem that I'm facing, you know, about, you know, it could be as stupid as figuring out how to sell one little thing, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I know I'm reaching, you know, 1,000 people, but I want to reach 10,000 people. What's the best way to reach 10,000 people and sell it to them?
Well, I'll tell you how I reached more people this week. Is 8 days ago, I received my black belt from Jake Shields for jiu-jitsu. And you know, funny thing, a lot of professional fighters like yourself that are very talented fighters, that's what they said. They said, congratulations.
Yeah. None of us have black belts.
And a lot of haters on the internet, they said some other things.
Of course.
So
keyboard warriors always have.
I'm not complaining. This is a good thing. And I hope you continue to hate me, you weak. So my Instagram traffic, you know, normally it's about 1 million people, about 1 million views per week.
About, send you a follow.
You know, 4 million, 13 million in 90 days, or you know, a little over 4 million in a month. And it's just, you know, pretty stable. You know, little ebbs and flows, depends what's going on in the world. And this month, it's like I've got like more than a month's traffic this week, so it's up over 400%. So I got 3.5 million additional views.
How'd you start that? Like, how did you figure out that's the lane you wanted to go?
You know, I really don't care for social media. I didn't have that shit on my phone, except it's useful for business.
That's hilarious. You don't care about social media, and he's got like.
No, I like the money.
Yeah, you got 4 million
I said except
followers.
for business. I said except for business. So, no, it's good for business.
Yeah,
it's good for business. But like, you know, there's seldom I have a desire. It's like, oh, let me take my phone out and talk to the phone. And like, I just think it's
a waste
the
of your
weirdest
energy.
thing. There's context that it's useful, but in general, like, if I wasn't making money with it, I wouldn't be using it for recreation.
See, I naturally enjoy making videos. That's like my passion. I went to school for that. Like, I don't know, something about, you know, I like creating things. Making videos, cooking, anything that has to do with fighting, creating. I love telling a story with the videos that I make. When it comes to comments, things like that, I don't really care about that. I love making videos, but I couldn't do it as a job or I'd hate it, you know? Right now, I do everything on my own. I edit my own videos, I shoot my own videos, post, spend time creating, you know, the perfect captions. That's the boring stuff. The fun part though is, like I said, 4:30 in the morning, I'll wake up and I'll come up with like a really dope idea for a video and I'll just start editing on my phone. It gives me peace. I don't know why. I just like to edit.
I had different problems for generally solving, but I understand. Same general principle, just slightly different topics.
Yeah.
I'm burning in my head whatever I was training that week with the guys, you know, with my coaches, then you know, solving some nerdy business something. And
yeah. See, I try when I get to the house to not think about fighting as much, because once I go down the rabbit hole, oh man, then I'm like stressing about everything. You know what I mean? Because I'm constantly thinking about training and fighting. So I program my brain when I get home, turn your brain off, don't think about fighting, focus on other things, you know, and it's helped me balance. It's helped me balance my life, because I used to get home and it's just be like fighting. What am I gonna do tomorrow? Fighting. And it just caused me more stress than anything.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I've had moments where I'm like totally focused on one thing. And then sometimes where I have, you know, kind of three things, I bounce between two or three things. As I got older, you can have more. Yeah, early in life, I was just thinking about financial things.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have money, you'd like to have some. You can understand that.
So how did you get into that with the Instagram though? Because you said you're not big on social media.
No, I mean, you need, you know, if you're going to have any type of business, you need to have an online presence. And then individuals with exceptionally low IQs sometimes criticize me on the internet. You, whatever, paid for your account, blah, blah, like, yeah, it's called advertising, dumbass. It's called advertising. You know who else advertises? Like Coca-Cola,
Everybody.
Apple, UFC.
Everybody.
Your sponsors, every one of your sponsors, Monster Energy drink. Yeah, it's called advertising. If you have a significant business, you should advertise too.
Yeah, man. Connor's like he's one of the best advertisers out there, man.
McGregor?
Yeah.
That's what he's best at. He's not a fighter. He's a marketer. He's an amazing marketer.
He is.
Some people confuse that he's a fighter.
Nah.
That's his second thing.
Yeah.
So, and he was a very good fighder, but
It
that
might
was
be his
second
third
thing.
now.
It might be.
You know what I mean? He's
a
really
marketer. He's an amazing marketer.
He is. He got his hands. He's doing whiskey, all kinds of stuff.
I think he sold the whiskey for $300 million
That's
or
right.
something like that.
That's right. He
I think
sure
he got
did.
something like $300 million personally out of that. So no, don't confuse Conor McGregor to be a fighter. He was a good fighter, but he's an amazing marketer. He's an amazing marketer.
Incredible.
And
even, say what you want about Jake Paul, same concept. He's also a guy that markets and just pumps, man. He is pumping right now.
He's kind of proven himself over time, though. That anybody that was laughing at his boxing is like, Paulie was my boxing coach for a long time, and we talk about him once in a while. Just his name had come up. Jake Paul's doing this or that because he's a good marketer, and you hear his name, And he said over time, it's like, well, Derek, they don't give that kid enough credit that he's been working hard for 4 or 5 years, and he's like, he's got legit good foundations.
Yeah.
And that was 3 years later, he looks like a pretty damn good boxer.
He does, because actually my coach Dewey Cooper was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, we brought a couple guys over for Jake Paul to spar with, and he's like, Jake put the hands on them.
Yeah.
He said that. He's like, Jake put the hands on them, and you know what I mean? I was like, wow, because before, I'll say, it took me a while to really, be like, he's a decent fighter. Now I'm like, he's a decent fighter. He is. You know?
Makes sense.
Because when you put the work in, you're no longer a YouTuber. And I think people get it confused. It was always Jake Paul, the YouTuber. Now they got to say, he's Jake Paul, the boxer.
Yeah. When he talks about MMA sometimes, like, I don't know about that. Or, that's a lot of extra work.
It is. And it's a lot of extra work. And he's actually pretty young, too. He's only, like 27 or something like that?
Yeah, late 20s.
Yeah, he's super young. I thought he was, for the longest time, I don't know why, I thought he was like in his 30s. But if you wanted to go that route in MMA, I think the boxing is the way to go. I don't see it for him.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, he would have had to start at least 3 years ago training jiu-jitsu, doing kickboxing. You know what I'm saying? Because the boxing
I didn't start
movements-
till I was 42. What you trying to say?
I'm just saying, but you ain't doing it for a living. If Jake Paul wants to get into UFC, it's too late for him. It's too late.
I'm 46.
Yeah, but you're a different animal.
I can't get my UFC contract. It's too late.
I mean, look at them calves.
Tell the audience what happened
my
if
boy's
I kick
calves,
somebody with
yeah, big as my head. That's wild. Let me ask you, how much you squat?
I'll show you a video. I'll find it. 800.
I need to know. 800?
With the machine. There's a machine. Let me show you the thing. Let me show you the machine so there's no confusion.
That's wild. 800 pounds?
I'll show you.
Not grams, right?
Come to the gym with me.
Are you sure we're not talking 800?
Come to the gym with me
800
and
grams?
we'll do it together.
800 pounds?
Come to the gym with me and we'll do it together. I'll
Wow.
go first. Just whatever I lift, you lift it.
Nah, I'm good. I'll just watch. You know, I'm like, yeah. Keep going. That's wild. 800 pounds?
Here's 800 pounds. So with good form.
Holy shit.
With good form. If I put more than that, my form breaks down. So
Yeah.
I can still get my ass down respectively.
Wow.
But that's 6 plates on each side on the top and 2
And that's
more on
800?
the bottom. That's 8 plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2. That's 720. So 720 plus the machine is about 800.
This guy's like, what the hell?
He my strength coach. That guy is strong as hell. The old man was. He was on the Olympia stage 10 times. 10 different years he made it.
Really good form.
He was
Your
a
legs
tough
are, your
bodybuilder.
feet are
Yeah, my knees aren't
yeah,
wobbly. Which is,
super straight.
so yeah, I mean that's a lot of weight for a squat. That's a lot of weight.
Man.
So
You trying to get Reed up to that? Get Reed up there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Reed's strong too, man. Reed is solid. He looks amazing. He's in amazing shape for.
You know, he stayed with me for a couple of days recently. We did a speaking event at one of my properties, and his public speaking is very good. He's very smart, and he can talk for he can.
Yeah.
He can, because of his experience and general intelligence, he can talk about a lot of things for a long time in front of a business audience, and he's very good about that. And then we were messing around in the training room just a little bit, and he kicking the bag a little bit, and I'm like, all right, this guy's 69, and
Reed is solid, man.
He still kicks somebody and surprise him out there.
Yeah,
but
Reed is solid.
if he had to, he'd still give somebody.
Oh yeah, 100%. They'd be like, what?
What the hell?
They'd be like, what? Like if you his like his upper body, like his chest is it's pretty big, massive. So not as massive as you. You're like built like the Hulk.
I don't know. You know what? Somebody said that to me. Literally, that said that. They said, "You look like Lou Ferrigno. Are you Lou Ferrigno, sir?" That was the man that played the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
But that guy is like a Schwarzenegger era bodybuilder, you know. And I said, not in a mean way, but I said, "How old do I look?" Like Lou Ferrigno's got to be 70.
Yeah.
And I
Is he
looked
still
it up.
alive?
Yeah, he's in his 70s. And I said, "You think I look like I'm 70s?" like,
Because that was black and white Hulk, right? When he did that first, was that when it was in black and
I would
white?
think that'd be in the late 70s, early
Okay.
80s.
Okay.
You know? I would think that's true. Early 80s.
Yeah.
Sounds right. But shout out to Lou Ferrigno. What up, man?
What's up,
Come lift
Luke?
some weights with us. Come lift
Get
some
it
weights
in.
with us. We'll see you.
Would you? Are you a fan of Arnold?
You know, I was until he said this, nasty comment about your freedom. I've seen Arnold. I never had a conversation with him. We were in a restaurant together, and I recognize him. But the guy's eating his dinner, and he doesn't know me, and it's not a context I need to interrupt his dinner or shit.
Yeah.
So I've seen Arnold. I've been 12 feet away from the man, but I never had a conversation with him. And by the way, when somebody does come in and disrupt his dinner, then everybody and it's like, man, you can't even. The guy can't even have dinner. You know. So I try to be respectful in those type of situations. But no, Arnold did a lot of respectable things, and then I was a little disappointed by that one comment about comply with the government and don't think for yourself. Just do whatever they say. So I was a little disappointed by that. But he had a lot of great accomplishments in his life, and he don't give a shit what I think one way or another, nor should he. So good for you, Arnold. Good for you.
Yeah, I've always wanted to meet him because like I said, man, I don't know too much about him. I just know him from the damn bodybuilding, strongman, Terminator. Oh, he was the.
Yeah.
He's probably, you know what I mean. Also, he probably had some help, but
Obviously.
he was the man. Arnold was pumping them things out.
Well, they were doing 4 hours a day, sometimes 6 hours a day weightlifting.
Wow.
There's an interview with Arnold And it seems sincere. Like he don't put the weights down. He'd have his training partner. If they were doing curls, he'd do a bicep curl. He'd do his set, and he hand the dumbbell to his training partner, and then he'd do his set, and they hand it back. They just hand it back and forth for a while.
Wow.
So they don't put the weights down.
Yeah. See, when I started doing that, because I've done that, lactic acid in my forearms just build so much, and I'm just like, it's probably because I obviously don't do it for a living, but when I start curling so much, that the lactic acid just builds, especially when the one where you're rolling up the rope. Oh man, I just get the worst lactic acid buildup in my forearms.
What do you think are the trade-offs? Just a personal question. I'm curious about. What do you think are the trade-offs in the lower weight divisions of trading more muscle, gaining weight, gaining more muscle weight versus being as lean and dynamic as you could be?
Speed. I think for me, I like being fast, twitch. You know what I'm saying? The more muscle you have, the tighter your body's gonna be. You know what I mean? That's why you see those long people like the Michael Venom Pays, the John Jones. They're quick because they don't have a lot of muscle. The more muscle you have, it definitely slows you down. But you can train anything. That's what I believe. Because I'm a very muscular guy, but I think I'm one of the fastest guys in my division because I train it. You know what I mean? I'm constantly, like I said with Dewey Cooper, just like constantly training my jabs, just boom, boom, boom. Like we'll do probably, I don't even know, 1,000 of those a day, 1,000 cross. You know what I'm saying? Because if your muscles will adapt to what you're willing to feed it. So I do believe once you start lifting a lot in the lower weights, and if you're not training your muscles, it will slow down a little bit.
So you rather have that speed and dynamism than being 10 pounds more muscle being up a weight division.
I don't even after I weigh in, most people just eat a lot and get big. I don't do that. I eat until I'm full, but not until I'm like stuffed where I'm like, oh. Because then I don't like feeling like Connor said, like stuck in the mud. I don't like that feeling, and I felt it before. I've had a bunch of steaks, after weigh-ins. I get in there and I'm just like, oh, I feel super heavy. And so I'll have like maybe a piece of steak, but mainly chicken, vegetables, fruits, all that stuff. Because I like being light. I feel like you can't touch me if I'm at my best. You can't touch me, and no one could. It's one thing to watch me on TV or break film down on me. It's another thing to have me in front of you actually throwing strikes at you. I see it all the time. They're like, they get the wide eye. They're like, oh, I did not think he was gonna be that fast.
People that make hater comments online about fighters and like, you should have to stand in front of those guys.
Yeah.
When I got to go train with, say Andrei Arlovsky is over 2 weeks ago. And Andre is 6'4". He got really long reach. He's very good defensively, and he got the most knockouts in like UFC history.
Yeah,
he had the most knockouts in like MMA history in the heavyweight division. Yeah, because he was in different leagues as well. So, he might have second at UFC, but he's got like the most knockouts in MMA history.
Yeah, he does.
And it's if you stand in front of that guy, if he's angry with you, it wouldn't be good. Especially a normal guy. I see people talking, you hear these idiots in the audience, they say the awful things that they say about fighters. And I've said to them sometimes, man, they're in the 4th round. If you had to go in there now with that guy, I told him, shut your mouth. Yeah. And so if you had to go in there right now in the 4th round and you're fresh, the dude whoop your ass. Yes. You couldn't last 1 minute with either one of those guys.
Exactly. And I wouldn't even put it as far as fighting. I would say, come do a workout. Do one workout. I wouldn't even say come spar. I'll say come do a workout because they would not be ready for even that level. Just do a workout, one workout, and it'd be like, oh man.
You got a group of guys in the room in a fight gym. There's like a puddle of sweat on the floor. It's like a puddle of sweat from the work that you guys are putting in. So yeah, I think a normal person don't understand that. It's easy to be a critic on television. But
it's way easier.
If you had to go do that job, it's like, that's a tough job you guys do.
Yeah, and I find as you get older, so when I was a little younger, man, when I grew up wrestling. Oh man, I would hate it. I would hate the grind.
You just call me old again?
Nah. I said when I was a little younger.
No, you said as you get older.
As we as we proceed.
Why you keep talking about my age, man?
No, as we get older.
You on my UFC dreams. You said younger man is too old. Jake Paul is too old.
Nah, man.
He's 15 years younger. He's 15 years younger than me. Why you on my UFC dreams, man?
You can still do it. Look, do a kickboxing match.
Well, I said UFC. You heard, now
I don't know about UFC.
Now he's insulting my jiu-jitsu. He said I got to be a kickboxer.
What do you like better, UFC or UFC? Kickboxing or grappling?
I got to be good at both. You know, I'm better at grappling right now.
Better at grappling?
I'm better at grappling right now, and I want to be like a legit good, well-rounded fighter.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna be, by the time that's true, by the time those skills are there, I'm gonna be 48. 49.
Yeah.
So I joke with the guys. They say, hey, by the time I'm 50, I'm gonna be a real good fighter at age 50.
Better watch out.
Yeah. The other dudes in the nursing home don't want no trouble, man. No trouble. Senior citizen buffet.
He's running around a menace to the nursing home, a menace to society. But I was saying, as we get older, I have started to embrace the grind where I like it. You know what I mean? Like I was doing strength and conditioning today, and I was doing this, stability workout where it's just pretty much squatting on one leg with the plate, and it's so you see how massive these legs are.
Yeah.
You see how massive these legs are. So I'm squatting with one. I'm holding the plate and trying to squat with one leg while this leg is supporting. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh man. I'm like, man, I need to do this more because it was hard, and it told me that I needed to work my left leg more. Right leg, I was able to get it up, but my left leg. But when I was younger, I would have ran from it and been like, I'm not doing that again. That was hard. But now, I embrace the grind a little bit more, and it's something that I'm finding out. I think it comes with like just growing up and maturing. At least, for that I found, because when I was younger, I would run from that stuff. I'd be like, nah, not doing it.
I thought more and more over time that like, the success that you're looking for tends to be on the other side of like the work that you're procrastinating.
Pain.
Yeah, people don't want to do that work. So I think the success that you're hoping for is on the other side of that work.
Yeah.
So let me just go do the work. And if you want to earn the thing, you can sit around and daydream about some.
Yeah.
I don't know. You and I are doers, not daydreamers.
Yep.
So like, you get paid a lot more to be a doer. You get paid a lot more to accomplish something than to sit around and dream about it.
100%.
So I think you got to set a good man's supposed to set some goals. Nothing's perfect, but if you chip away at your goals every day, you're going to have some good success in the future. And then you have to have the discipline to show up and do things you don't want to do. If you only do that you want to do, you're going to be very limited in your success.
Yeah.
I think I'm curious your opinions, but I think for a man to be near the top or one of the top respected men in whatever category that he's interested in, or just in general in life, is like you're going to have to be smarter and or harder working than your competition. Like, how could it be that you could be lazy and dumb and be the top guy?
It's impossible. It doesn't work. Now, you see the guys, especially if we're going to talk about fighting, you see the guys who are kind of getting lazy at the tail end of their career. I understand that. You know what I mean? Those guys that really put in those years in fighting and has been a champion, have done it already, and kind of see it where they're like, get a little lazy. You can tell they're not been training like they used to.
Getting old.
Yeah, I that is respectable. I get that. But I hate when I see the young guys and they just do enough. They go in the gym and they leave and that's it. And that's about all. That's all they do. They just barely do enough.
If they're in your weight division, you must be happy about this.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually happy. You know what's crazy? This is kind of a weird thing, but I like that society's getting soft in a way.
Yeah.
I kind of like it because, man, when I have kids, they're gonna be
Yep.
I'm like, this is your competition. Look at it. I'm like, yo, this is your competition.
I say this to my clients and laugh with my friends and say to my clients all the time is like, these are like the weakest men in history.
Yeah.
What they call a man today is like the weakest, softest, most pathetic, the psychologically fragile, they give up easy, they don't work so hard. Like this, if you can't beat these guys, if you can't truly think about it. If or just as a general guy, not a fighter, but like as a general statement in society, like if you can't outcompete these guys, if you can't outwork these guys, you would have been like you had to fight like if you had to compete against your grandparents or their grandparents' generation.
Man.
Like, those were tough people looking for food. They wanted food. They were showering with cold water.
Yeah, they were not having it. No, for real. No, for real. Dead ass. Yeah. They were not having it.
Yeah.
They were not having it. And we're in an era now where not only do people not want to work hard, but they want it all. They're like, I don't want to work, but I want everything. Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm like scratching my head. There's even amateur fighters. So when I was coming up as an amateur fighter, we didn't get hotels. You know what I mean? We drive to a fight, and we'd all throw in money to stay in a hotel. Like my coaches, you know, we would probably get in a hotel for us or something like that. But now these amateur fighters, they're like, oh, well, you know, if my agents or the promotion's not getting me a hotel when I'm getting there, then I'm not fighting or I'm not doing, you know, I'm like, what? Are you crazy? Some people would stay in their car and show up and fight. Are you crazy? You're an amateur fighter. You don't, if you really want a hotel, get a group of people like we used to do and collectively split that room and there's your hotel. But it's the entitlement like we talked about is wilding right now.
If you can't beat these guys, we would have been in bad shape in previous generations.
Yeah.
I think because of that thought, I'm like, I think, you know, your success is proportional to like the size of the obstacles that you could overcome or the type of problems that you could solve. So
what do you mean by that?
Well, if you can solve a problem that your competition can't solve, you're going to be well rewarded.
Yeah.
So in any, you know, in fighting, in business, in any area, if you can see opportunities and execute on those opportunities that your opponent can't see, you're going to have some significant advantages. So I think instead of running away from the work, like you mentioned, which is 100% true what you said.
Yeah.
But, you know, a better model for a young man to want to emulate is like, you know, look for more opportunities.
Yep.
Like, all right, where could I be well rewarded for doing the work?
Yep.
What are the areas of society that if I do the hard thing, I'll be well rewarded for my behavior, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want you just working hard for no damn reason, but if you're working hard on the right things, you can get a lot of success and a lot of advantages in life.
No, it's true. And you know, it's funny where I stopped that mindset of like, you know what, I'm only gonna put in just enough, and when I lost. And there's two types of people that, and fighting aside, you can lose in anything, you know what I'm saying? But there's people that lose and it's like, I don't like this feeling. I'm going balls to the wall and make sure this never happens again. What do I need to do? And then there's people that's like, all right, I quit, I lost, I give up. You know, and I always got away with my attributes of being an athlete. I was always an athlete. I grew up playing football, grew up wrestling. You know, I was always an athlete. But then when you meet other athletes and you're going against a guy that also grew up playing football, also grew up wrestling, you know, and they beat you, you realize that guy's been doing extra work outside the gym. Or even in business, you know, the guys that's putting in extra work outside of the office, those are the guys that's going to be more successful.
I tell them all the time, like, you don't want to go to happy hour. Like, people feel pressured, like, you know, oh, everybody's going to happy hour, I'm expected to go. I'll be like, no, what would get you a promotion quicker? Like, spending 90 minutes after work to go get drunk with your coworkers, we're going to talk and backstab you later, or just staying at the office that extra 90 minutes with the other hardest working people and more senior people that maybe are still in the office. And when the more senior guy, when the manager or the boss or the owner walks in and out of the office, they see you there, everybody else is left and having a drink, and you're still in there working on something.
Yeah.
But who's going to get a raise and a promotion faster? It's obvious, but they don't want to tolerate the social pressure of not doing what everybody else is doing.
Yep.
You know, another thought that came up when you were saying this is like, I talked to Kamaru Usman several times, but when we did an interview together like this, he talked about college wrestling. He talked about, he was thinking about quitting the wrestling team. He went and had a conversation with his coach where he told the coach, he said, man, I do everything that you tell me to do. I do everything that the guys on the team do. And like, I follow the nutrition plan. I follow everything I'm supposed to do. And it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm that good. Like, I win 2 matches, I lose 1. I win 1, I lose 1. It's like, this. And he said his coach is telling him, like, if you did everything that the team does, why do you think you'd be doing better than the team? He said you're going to have to do a lot. That's the minimum amount. That's the minimum amount that everyone is expected to do. So if you want to have exceptional results, you're going to have to do more. Yeah. And that seemed like the way he talked about that was like kind of a life-changing, like hit a switch in his head. Yeah. And be like, all right, what else can I do?
No, that you actually just reminded me of something. It's funny because I've always been. I've always went to big gyms where you have everything in one gym, right? Grappling, wrestling, kickboxing, everything is in one gym. When you move to Vegas, you can go to big gyms. There's big gyms here, but there's so many high-level athletes. The best grapplers are here. The best strikers are here. The best wrestlers are here. It's like after you get done at your big gym, you find those grapplers, strikers, and wrestlers. That's what I did. And you kind of formulate your own outside team. And you will be surprised, like you said, when you put that work in from the outside, how much growth will, oh my gosh. Like me and Dewey Cooper put in so, like we go on Sundays, just me and him, one-on-one on Sunday. We're about to go this Sunday. One-on-one, just in there. If you're around this Sunday and want to come through,
I gotta fly on Sunday, but I'll go work out with Dewey. So boy, I used to do workouts with him. I haven't for a year and a half or something, but I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 times we did one-on-ones together.
Yeah, he's great. He's like so meticulous about the details, because fighting isn't perfect. You get in there, and everything is all over the place. But if you could fight at 70%, you're beating everybody. You know what I'm saying? So Dewey is training you to be 100%. So that if you have a bad day and you show up at 85, you're still gonna win. Because that 85%, if you put the work in, is still gonna equal the 100, if that makes any sense.
I totally get it. Yeah, if you train in for perfection, yes, even if you have an off day and you fall short, you still be sufficient.
Yes.
You weren't perfect, but you were still better than your competition.
Exactly. Because those bad days are gonna come. It's just a part of the game. Weight cuts, that goes on in your life.
That's the only part I get scared of. Don't tell me about that. Yeah. I turned to cannibalism early. I'd be an early adopter of cannibalism.
Man, those weight cuts are brutal. I can't tell you how many times I've passed out. I'm just like, oh.
I talked to a lady on the jet yesterday, the hostess, or you call flight attendant, and I asked her, I said, hey, do you have any grapes? Sometimes they hand out grapes as in first class. And then they didn't ask her, they didn't bring any desserts around. Yeah. So usually they bring like some ice cream, sugary, or like some grapes and cheese. Okay. So I asked her, they didn't do that. I said, do you have any grapes? You guys didn't bring dessert. And she's like, no, they, catering didn't bring them, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, that's really unfortunate for the person sitting next to me, because if I don't get my grapes, I'm going to turn to cannibalism. and I was kind of, I'm speaking in a soft voice. I'm not being mean or angry or something, but it's like pretty flat faced. Yeah, that's very unfortunate for the person sitting next to me.
and you're a pretty intimidating person. Like, you're built, like I said, like the Hulk. So I'd imagine that person sitting next to you is like, oh, give him his grapes. He's like, I got some grapes right here.
She joked with me, she was playful and in on the joke. And she's like, well, could I get you a burger from the back, sir? Like, would that satiate you so you don't eat anymore? And
she get you the burger?
I'm like, we should try. We should try the burger first. And she's like, well, if you have to go to cannibalism, could I pick the person that you kill? And I'm like, that's fair. That'll put me in good graces with United. But,
You're like, how long is this flight? All right, this will buy me, if I eat one person, it'll buy me about 2 hours before I have to eat another.
yeah, they won't kick me off the airline entirely if the flight attendant picked the victim. So we having some jokes about that yesterday.
Oh,
but
man.
no, man, if I on a serious note, I really respect the weight cut thing because, like, training is fun. You know, the training part's fun. I like lifting weights. I like doing the training. You don't like it every day, but I like it. It's fun, man. And I feel like I'm learning new things. I'm building skills, building little details on things that I already know and learning new stuff. And my brain's super excited. But, like, yeah, that part looks like it's not much fun to me. That weight cut.
No, it's the fight. That's the fight. The weight cut is the fight. Because you're sitting there, for me, I'm sitting there in the bathtub. I'm contemplating life. I'm like, man, I should have finished college. Every time that thought goes, I don't know why, that's always the thought that comes back when I'm cutting weight. I'm like, man, if I finished college, I probably wouldn't, be in this predicament.
What do you weigh normal? It's like 150-ish?
Yeah, like 45, 40. When I'm out of camp. When I'm in camp, I'm about 43, 44, 43. And, but after I make the weight, I feel great. And I'm like, nah, college.
After the work is done.
Yeah, after the work is done. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, we're not going back.
That was easy.
Yeah.
After you're crying for sweating and
Yeah.
crying.
Oh, man. Oh, you turned into the biggest during your weight cut, man.
I seen a video of Chris Cyborg. Her birthday was the other day. Shout out to Chris Cyborg.
Okay, happy birthday, Chris.
And she's the sweetest lady. She looks villainous, and she looks, she's super tough.
Yeah.
But in person, she's the sweetest, very feminine, very sweet, nice lady.
Oh yeah.
And no, I seen videos of her doing weight cuts where she got to get from like 170 to 145 or something, and there's like those last pounds where she's like, in a salt bath, a hot salt bath, crying and just like,
yeah,
fuck.
you're just sitting there like just curled up, like
yeah, looked like that. And I thought, like, that's the toughest woman, that's at the top of tough women on earth.
Weight cuts turn you into a. That's the thing for all the people on the internet that want to talk. Just do a weight cut. Do one weight cut.
Yeah, just do the weight cut.
Just do the weight cut. Don't even forget about the training. Forget about the fighting. Just do one weight cut. That's all. You know what I mean? No. Do one. That's all. Just one weight cut.
No, that one sounds the scariest to me. I guess I must be a heavyweight for sure. I wouldn't like the weight cut.
No, it's rough. It's rough. I will say though, I'm very mentally tough. Like whenever I cut weight with my coaches or my manager, shout out to my manager Lance. He always helps me cut weight. Whenever I cut weight with him, he knows my routine, and I will say that I'm pretty mentally tough. I will go to where I'm like my eyes start rolling back and I'm like passing out, but I'm pretty mentally tough. Knock on wood, I've never missed weight, and I'd like to keep it that way, because I'm like one of those people that I will die before I miss weight. Oh.
I seen Charles Oliveira a while ago. I was at his fight. Mm-hmm. I forget what city it was in, but I was at the fight, and it was he missed by half a pound, and he won the fight. They still stripped his title.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Who was that against? I don't know, but I remember it.
That might have been in Phoenix. I don't recall for sure. It might have been he fought. It might have been after. I don't remember, but I've been to a lot of different fights. But But yeah, I thought like this poor bastard is like that's a tough guy.
0.5 too. That's like a pee.
Yeah, a normal trip to the bathroom for sure. Yeah,
for real. 0.5 is nothing. Nothing. That's a half of a banana.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So yeah, on champion level, if you're at the top, and then what is it? I don't know what the rules is. Is it 2 pounds or something, or it's more than 1 pound? Then you gotta give up 20% of your purse.
So it's 20% regardless. Over 2 pounds or 2.5, it's 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So even 1 pound, over 1 pound is.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can be over 1 pound, but if it's more than that, you're giving up 20%.
No, yeah. So if you're not fighting for the belts,
yes.
you get 1 pound. If you're fighting for the belt, you have to you got to be on the set weight. But if you're over 1 pound, then that's your, you know what I mean. You get a pound allowance. Now, if you're over 2 pounds, 20%. 3 pounds, 30%. I think they just implemented that. I want to say a few years ago too. Because
it makes sense why you do that. If
Yeah.
the other person has a weight advantage or
exactly. Because
is
guys were starting
heavier
to
and
yeah.
not suffering the way your opponent is, then yeah.
Because not only that, but you get these guys. You get these guys that come into fighting 3 pounds, and say for example, if they're fighting a guy off a Contender Series and they're on like their 4th contract, they're like, you can have my 20%. I'd rather take the 20% cut off of my pay and beat you, knowing you're gonna suffer. So then, I'm guessing UFC is like, all right, nope, we're gonna do something different. 3 pounds is 30%. Really changes their mindset.
I didn't know the 30% rule. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I might be paraphrasing. Maybe they do it every once in a while, but I do know there's, fights where they have given up 30%.
For 30%, I'd make sure I make weight.
Yeah, for real. That's like fighting in China. You fight in China, it's I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's 35%.
Yeah.
Automatically, if you fight in China, the taxes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
They withhold the taxes.
Yeah, I want to say it's 35.
A lot of countries are that way. Australia, some people don't want to fight in Australia for that reason.
Now imagine you're from Chicago. Now imagine being from Chicago, missing weight, and fighting in China. Dude, that's like 20% from Chicago, 35% for the taxes from China, and then another 20% for missing weight.
Yeah, you can't afford the hotel room.
No, you
Need
can't.
the promotion to pay for your hotel room again.
Oh, for real.
What do you think of going forward in your career, man? You got a lot of wins, you got a couple losses. That's life. Where you feel like you're at and where you want to be.
So I feel like I'm in a position where the UFC could go either way. They could say, well, Osbourne, he's been up, he's been down, but consistently he puts on the greatest, most exciting fights. I put on the most exciting fights. I would like for them to be like, man, this guy has, been knocking people out. Because I always go for the knockout. And then hopefully give me a ranked opponent. If they don't, that's fair too, because I haven't felt like I have, been on a long terror. You know what I'm saying? I think my longest reigning win streak was 2. But I want to be the guy that puts on exciting fights always, because I'm an exciting fighter. I don't know how to be boring. I hate getting in there and point fighting. I can't do it. Or I hate getting there and wrestling, and I'm like, let's put on an exciting. This is an entertaining business. Let's entertain. I grew up a wrestler. I could have easily been like, all right, I'm taking the wrestling route and just win all my fights and be boring. But I don't, that's boring as shit. I'm like, I want to be in there, getting after it. So I'm hoping they're like, all right, let's start matching him up with just strikers, because my biggest problem, I guess, which I'm working on a lot, doing a lot of grappling, doing a lot of wrestling to get back in, get my wrestling back, get my grappling back. So I'm doing a lot, but when I do face those Dagestani wrestlers, man, faced Asu and I faced Jafel Filio. He's a great Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt grappler. Those were my losses, But when they put me in there with strikers, man, I'm having a field day. So I'm hoping they're like, let's make O'Day like how they make like Max Holloway. You know how they give Max Holloway strikers because he's an exciting fighter. So I'm hoping they give me kind of like that route where I can just put on and exciting fights.
You like grappling, or is that's less fun for you?
I do like grappling. I don't mind it, but if I'm fighting, I like to strike. You know what I'm saying? I like to. There's no greater feeling than just connecting with somebody's jaw. It's like, boom, and then when you come back with the 2, and then you come back with the 3. Oh man, it's the greatest feeling in the world. I cannot explain it. Oh, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Choking a guy near death isn't as fun for you?
It is. That is fun as well. That's fun as well. I do like that. But for me, it's not as exciting because of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just something about that connection. It's just like, boom. Like my last fight, went against a guy that was 10-0. The UFC was really high on him. He beat Nick Piccinini, great collegiate wrestler. He beat him on Contender Series. So I was like a minus a plus 260 underdog, you know, and I'm thinking in my mind, this guy who was a great college wrestler hasn't been wrestling as much in his last couple of fights. I wonder if he's gonna change up his approach with me. If not, it's gonna be a long night for him. And you know, he tried taking me down the first round, and then second round, he stood up with me, and that's all she wrote. That's all I need. I only need, give me a good 30 seconds. All I need is 30 seconds. Stay with me for 30 seconds. You know, again, not trying to be arrogant, but it's different when you're standing there in front of me and you're actually facing my hands and my kicks, you know what I mean? Versus when you're watching technique on YouTube or ESPN and you're like, you know, he's good, but he's all right. Now when you're in there and I'm hitting you with all these feints and I'm making you like just, I'm making you do the dance where you don't know what's coming. Yeah. And then I just put your lights out.
I wouldn't want to play that game with you. Like, I got to not react to the feint and move forward and accept that I'm going to get hit a couple times.
Yeah, and you know, I'm going to share the secret. But the trick to not reacting to the feint is you feint back. You know what I'm saying? Or not just feint back, just move. When people are feinting at you, you just move with the motions. So that way, because when you're still, you're going to bite. But if you're just moving and they're feinting, just move with the motions.
You know, Lyoto Machida, he helped me a lot with my striking, and I think he's one of the best strikers ever from UFC.
Yeah, he was amazing.
But Lyoto is you know, really a master at that as well, different little feints and setups. And
that's why he's known as the Dragon, man.
He's tricky.
Yeah, when he breathed fire, that thing came out. My favorite striker was Anderson Silva, just how he moved, man. Anderson was just...
He slipped punches like he would just chill.
Yeah, he was so...
Look at him like they were stupid to make the effort to throw their hand there.
And then he would just come back with like a simple jab and drop somebody. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, there's a couple fights like that like... There's a fight with Forrest Griffin that, you know, Anderson looked amazing.
Yeah, man, I love Forrest. Yeah, man, Forrest. Every time I see him at the PI, he's just, you know, always just super friendly, super nice to me. And I'll never forget this. When I first came to Las Vegas, I came off a Contender Series. I didn't know anybody at the UFC, and you know, I met Forrest, walked past his office, and I was like, hey, what's up, Forrest? I was always a huge fan of him. And he was like, get in here. And he, you know, didn't have no idea who I was. And he started looking me up. And then he started breaking down my fights with me. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
All right.
I thought that was the coolest thing ever. He started breaking, you know, he's like, all right, so I see when you do this, this happens. When you do that, this happens. How you fix that is you do this, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was cool, man. After that, I was like, all right, forever.
All right, Forrest, look at you. Look at you, good job.
Yeah. Another
good
guy
job,
that
sir.
I always wanted to meet was Rampage, only because I always thought he was so funny. I thought Rampage was hilarious.
You know, I never talked to him either. I did interviews with 40-something. There's 117 UFC champions ever, including the old tournaments, what they started at the very beginning. And I've done interviews with 40-something of them, 45-ish. And, but yeah, I never met Rampage. I'd be happy to do an interview with Rampage sometime.
Yeah, I look at his stuff and I'm like, he's always been just hilarious to me because he's one of those... He's kind of like you. You're a straight shooter. You just say what you feel, and you're right. You know, if you feel whatever you feel in the moment, you're gonna tell somebody. That's how I feel like Rampage is. Every time I see his interviews and stuff, you know, I think the best is his interviews with Ariel Helwani. Yep. He's always giving Ariel Helwani shit.
I don't know the context.
Oh man, so there's one video where
Ariel trying to bait him and talk crazy to him sometimes.
Oh man, he gives hair. Oh man, there's one video where back in the day, he was getting ready for a fight and his shirt was off. And you know, he's like, yeah, man, I'm looking good right now. I'm ready for my fight. And Ariel goes, And he goes, did you just say, he goes, what's your wife's name, Frank? Yo, Rampage is ridiculous. And then, so years later, maybe 10 years, I don't know how many years later, he does another interview with Ariel Helwani, and he goes, what up, Ariel, how's Frank?
Yeah, he's still got the callback humor in his head from their first one.
Yo.
I see him say some funny sometimes. I see like clips of him on Instagram, and he was, you know, obviously was a hell of a fighter, and he got moments of hilarious, you know, hilarious moments. His sense of humor is He's good. I'd be happy to do something with him someday.
Yeah.
What up, Rampage? Where my interview?
Yeah,
Do an interview
Rampage.
with me, Rampage.
Where's this interview?
Do an interview with me, Rampage. What the fuck?
Yeah, when we do clips of this, I'm gonna tag him. I'm gonna tag him in the comments like, yo, Rampage.
I said that to Dana. Dana has been great about that, but I said that to Dana once. I said, well, where's my interview?
Yeah.
And he's like, what you mean? And I said, I did interviews. I did interviews with, I don't know, 150 of your fighters. I never say one bad thing about you, ever. I never say one bad thing about the company, ever. I said, where's my Dana White interview? He's like, you want to do an interview? I said, yeah, I want to do an interview. And he's like, contact so-and-so and set it up. So I'm working on that now. I want my interview, Dana.
Ah, there we go. That's rare because Dana doesn't really, he retired the interview days. You know, he don't even do them like that anymore.
No, Dana's great. He's done, and I understand he's very busy.
He is. He's been pulled in like 50 different directions.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day of his life.
Yeah.
'Cause I know how busy my phone is, and I got to think that Dana's a very busy person.
He probably has 2 phones.
I could only afford one. I could afford a Rolls Royce and a few other nice luxuries, but only one phone.
Only one
After
phone.
that, this is it, man.
I'm sure Dana got the business phone and the personal phone. Got the family phone and the company phone.
I don't know if he does.
I don't know either. I have no idea.
My
I'm just
impression
talking shit.
is, I don't, and I don't know this is a fact either, but my impression is the guy is, like kind of 24 hours. And,
Yeah. And he doesn't need 2 phones, honestly, because he got all these he's got his assistants are great.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, here, take my other phone. That's the goal. That's my goal in life. I needed an assistant to manage my business phone.
I've seen that guy criticized it a lot of different times, and I think, and I've said to people, so and just go build a $10-15 billion business yourself, and see if everyone on the world loves you. You know, everybody says nice things about you. Like, it's real easy to criticize people. Like, it's hard to be one of those fighters. Hard to be a successful fighter.
Yeah.
Hard to go. Imagine doing a better job than Dana with UFC. Like, who did? Who on earth did a better job than him with a fighter and promotion?
No, 100%. And
he did the best.
I did it. Did you see that video that he made? You just sparked something, where he talked about what being a boss is like, and he's like, "Well, you think you want to be a boss? Say goodbye to birthdays, Christmases, everything you've ever loved." I thought that was so powerful. That's one of my favorite Dana White moments on camera.
Yeah. He talks about entrepreneurship that way. I did see a video where he talks about entrepreneurship that way. Like, yeah, you want to be your own boss. You want to be an entrepreneur. Like, you're going to work every day of the year. Every day is going to be a war.
Yes.
It's like, maybe it's the same video we're talking about.
That's the same video. Yep.
Every day is going to be a war. People want to take everything you have.
Yes.
So on and so on. Yeah.
When I watched that video, I woke up and I was like, I'm going to the gym hard. I'm hitting it. I watched that video and I'm like, I'm hitting that hard in the gym today.
That's how it is, man. There's always somebody. As soon as you start winning a few fights in a row, then people you never heard of start saying your name and saying crazy shit. And like, I'm sure that's true. I don't know that.
No, it is.
But I'm sure that's true.
I've lost more relationships being a successful fighter than when I was a nobody. O'Day, the UFC fighter, has lost so many good friends and family members. O'Day, the nobody, no one knows who you are. Peaceful. But, with the Spider-Man quote, great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? And so when that happens, it used to really bother me. And I'm sure you faced a lot of it as well, being as successful as you are, where probably not anymore, but
no. I mean, this week I'm thinking about. So in the past week, I mean, as far as friends, I have very high quality friends, but I am a very good friend. If I say I'm going to do something, you ask anybody that knows me, you ask anybody you see on that Instagram, or people, anybody that knows me, if we put something on the schedule, we ain't got to check on it 5 times. Like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to do the thing.
I like that.
I always do what I say I'm going to do.
I like that.
Not because I'm a nice guy. I don't pretend to be such a nice guy or some altruist, or I just think that's what a good person, especially a good man, if you can't trust them, what else can you do together? Like, if I can't trust you, that when you tell me some words, that those words mean something, then it's hard for me to make plans with you in the future.
100%.
It's better for me to spend time with somebody else that I know their words mean something.
No,
so
that's 100%.
I got to make sure that I'm that type of person. If I want to be around those type of people, then I got to be that type of person first. But as far as little petty or like haters, it's like. Jake Shields gave me that black belt last week, and then and
congrats again
in that presentation when Frank Mir came, Glover Teixeira came, Lyoto Machida came. So they're all standing next to it. I got the belt from Jake, but they've all trained with me a lot. They support that, you know.
Yeah.
And then people on the internet saying, I got messages from at least 15 champions saying very positive things. I got messages from, publicly at least 15. I got messages from more people that are all, UFC people and pro bodybuilders and shit that, they're like, yeah, congratulations. And they trained with me or they know.
Well, we know how hard it is to get a black belt. It's the hardest in the world.
Jake and I trained, we were 150 days together. Other people I trained 40, 50, 60 days. Yeah. I even asked Dewey about, I was 300 pounds and fat as hell when I was working with him.
Really?
But I didn't give up. I'd be there doing this work. I have to sit down for a minute once in a while.
Really? Yeah. You were 300 pounds.
But we'd put in serious workouts. And like Dewey would say good things about me. And that's when I was just starting.
Wow.
I didn't know what the I was doing, but he'd say I had good work ethic. So the people that know me well, they said a lot of nice things. So Bilal Muhammad said nice things publicly. Valentina Shevchenko, Chuck Liddell, Glover, Lyoto, Jake, Frank. I'm sure Tyrone Spong wrote me privately, not publicly. I don't know. There's many more.
Yeah,
but, all the people that know said nice.
Yeah.
Then there's other people out there that they never done nothing, man. Like
the keyboard warriors.
Yeah. And they got big opinions about that. It's like, you got to work at least 10 years to get your black belt. You got to this or this. Like, no, maybe you do. But like, I took one-on-one. I did about 3,000 hours of private lessons with the UFC Hall of Fame, plus Mikey Musumeci, plus Gordon Ryan, et cetera, et cetera. It was like,
Mikey, man.
No, yeah, Mikey made a
special.
Mikey he's already a 17-time champion or something like that. Just won the UFC belt. So yeah, Mikey said nice shit about me publicly, and then people talking all kinds of shit about him. Gordon did.
Talking about Mike.
Yeah, they're saying like, that belt's fake, man, that blah, blah, blah. You can't get a belt in 3.5 years. And like, Mikey's like, yeah, like, it's legit. Like, go roll with him, it's legit. Anyway.
My grappling coach is actually competing for a belt. I don't know if you know Hanato Kanuto.
I know the name. I don't know the person, but I've heard this name.
He's at the end of the month. He's competing for the belt for the UFC.
So the point I mean to make is, it's always the guys that did something, they recognize that somebody, they're like, oh yeah, that's what's up. And then people that they're white belt, or they got there's some guys that got black belt, but they got a little gym with. They got 600 followers, and they're trying to get me to say their name, type of thing, and I just like, and I was a little bummed about that part of that. I was just like, oh, really? Like,
that's unfortunate, man. Because
but thanks for driving a lot of traffic to my page, helping my sales. Though, thanks. They say you got to prove yourself, Derek. You got to do this and this. Nah, man. When you make that comment, you know what I'm doing when you're making that comment? I'm spending time with your mom.
Oh man, but see, people don't understand what that kind of dedication is like. You know what I'm saying? When you put those long hours in. The reason why people take 10 years to get their black belt is because, they don't put that time in. You know what I'm saying?
And maybe they got one good coach in a group setting.
Yeah, and they probably show up at the gym, I don't know, twice a week for an hour.
You're a professional fighter. You got a UFC contract. I ain't got no UFC contract because, like you said, I'm too old.
Nah, I didn't say that. You said that.
I heard you.
You said that.
I heard you. I know what
you said that. You're only like a couple years older than me.
Zoom in on this and look at that list of names up and down there. So think about your coaches. If you trained with that list of people, would you not be doing even better than you are?
Wow. Claudia, love her. Wow, yeah. 100%.
So the top 15 is like my main coaches that are there a lot. They come 3, 4, 5 times a year.
Wow, Tito.
Then on the bottom are people. Those are people that I trained with some. They might have come 3
Chuck
days.
Liddell, Frank Mir. Frank is awesome, by the way. I love Frank.
Yeah, Frank's a monster.
Yeah. I didn't get his daughter right now is coming up, and she's a beast. She's another savage. I didn't get a chance to ask him what happened. I saw he had a cane.
He had back surgery.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to interrupt because his Bella was sparring at the PI in the cage, and I know Frank. Him and I go back when I was training at Syndicate. I didn't want to like interrupt. You know what I'm saying? Because when your daughter's in there and you're coaching her, it's the last thing I want to do is go up and hey, what happened?
No, Frank's great. I learned a lot of things from Frank, and I learned a lot of things from all those people. But just to finish that point, like if you spend time training with that list of characters, would you not learn a few things to be even better than you are?
100%. 100%. I saw Michelle Watterson's name on there. I just met Michelle Watterson for the first time.
Very nice lady.
That lady is one of the nicest, most authentic, genuine people I've ever come across. And her husband, Josh, is the same way.
Yeah, Josh is a pretty good boxer. Josh is a professional boxer. He's legit. He's pretty good.
They're both just amazing people, you know. And, you know, when you see people on TV, you don't know how they're going to be. When I met Michelle, I was like, wow, she was exactly how she portrays herself.
Yeah, very sweet girl.
Very sweet. Another one is Molly McCann. Molly is super nice. She's very sweet. If you ever get a chance to talk to her.
I've spoken to her different times, and we never trained together, but I've spoken with her different times, and she's always been very kind and thoughtful to me.
Very sweet girl.
There's one time I had 2 extra tickets for a UFC event, and I offered them to Reed. I said, you know, hey, make use of these. That I just didn't need them, and make use of them. And so he ended up giving them to Molly's family, to a couple of her family members, so that they ended up with those seats.
Reed's awesome.
And then, you know, she went out of her way to be, and as is appropriate in that situation, but she went out of her way to, you know, he introduced us and said, you know, she's like, oh, thank you so much, and, you know, very sweet. And I talked to her in New Jersey like a month ago. I talked to her in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a very nice woman.
I was there with her, yeah.
Oh, yeah? I didn't see you there, but I mean,
no, I did see you in New Jersey. I saw you in New Jersey. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I was like,
oh, yeah, you're right. We went to the fucking...
I thought I met you.
No, you're right, yeah.
See, look, the old comment just evened itself out. That's when I met you.
So now he's bringing up old again. As soon as I was forgetful, then he reminded me for the 5th time that I'm old. For the 5th time, he reminded me that I'm old. Now I'm forgetful and old. That's why you're saying old again? What do you mean even?
Oh, man. Yeah, I met you in New Jersey. That was a good card. I got a chance to hang out with Molly there for a while as well.
Yeah, she's sweet. She was sitting with Dominic Reyes. Alex Pereira was in the lounge so we went to the lounge together. Alex was there. Poor Alex got such a nice guy too, and people don't know that about him. He's a very humble person inside, and everybody there shoving a camera in his face. You know, they want a picture, and I thought that's. I mean, I get it. I understand why they, you know, but there's no self-awareness of those people.
None.
If you were a fan or had respect for that guy, why do you want to do that to him, you know?
Dude, I've been in the bathroom at the fights. You know how it is at the fights? I've been in the bathroom and I'm like in the urinal, and the guy next to me is like, hey man, can we get a picture? I'm like, dude, can I just finish what I'm doing? I don't mind taking pictures, but there's a time and a place, you know what I'm saying? If I'm in the urinal or if I'm out eating, you know, don't interrupt me. If I'm eating, especially if I'm eating with a bunch of people, cool. But if I'm with like, you know, you can tell, read the room. You can tell if I'm in a family setting.
That's what I said about Arnold. The guy's trying to enjoy his meal. With, you know, leave the guy alone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You don't give a shit what I'm going to say to him. You know, I nothing I even need to say to him. What are we going to say to each other? You know? So, there's Arnold. Cool. Let the guy eat his meal if you like him, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that about Alex. It's like this poor guy. He's literally sits down at the table to eat, and some guy's leaning over, shoving a camera in his face.
Oh,
and I was
man,
like, this poor. And yeah, I wouldn't enjoy that part. I had one of these bathroom episodes where I'm in a nightclub. This is 2019 maybe, and this guy's Derek, and I'm at the urinal, and the guy's like, his mouth is right here, like his mouth is right here by my ear.
Yeah.
Derek, and you know, if I turn, it's like I'm gonna touch my lips or something. You know, like, and I'm like, what the f*** are you doing, man? And I'm like, you know, go wait by the door. Like, I'll say hi to you. Go wait by the door. And he's like, Derek, I just want to say hi, man, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, my dick is in my hand. Like, my dick, you want to have a conversation? Well, my dick is in my hand.
That's too close to comfort.
And your mouth
That's too close to comfort.
And then he was drunk, I think, and he kept repeating like loudly and angrily, yeah, Derek, your dick is in your hand.
Oh.
and he just kind of stormed off, like saying that multiple times, very loud and kind of angry with me. And I just kind of, this is like a little surreal. Like,
people don't care. They don't give a.
I'll go say hi to the guy, and if he wants a picture, like, all right, like, okay, but like, just treat me like a human.
Yeah, they don't give a man, because at the end of the day, they want that. And for me, I've never been the kind of person to get excited over people. Never. I couldn't tell you a time where I was excited to meet. Well, you know, I'm always happy to meet somebody, but never like a fanboy. I've never been that way. Never in my life. And so, because I've always understood at a young age that, for example, you know, I came from Jamaica. Usain Bolt is the fastest guy on the planet. He's Jamaican. But I've always understood at a young age, the reason why he's so popular is because he can run just a little bit faster than me. The reason why Elon Musk is popular, you know, because he's got that brain power. You know, he's a little bit smarter than me, or a lot smarter. You know what I'm saying? But I understood it at a
smarter
than
most of us, including me.
For sure.
No insult to you, but including me, you got it.
But my point is, it's just we make people like we put everyone on this like super ridiculous pedestal where it's like just treat everyone as a human being.
Usain Bolt can run, a few percent faster than you, but Elon Musk has 4,000 times more money than me. 4,000x. Good for you, Elon. Good for you.
His brain is ridiculous.
I
Man.
gotta say that to the fighter guys, because some of them, I have nice properties and nice things, and they think I'm rich, and I'm like, I'm doing very well. But a guy like Elon has, 4,000 times more money than I do.
It's crazy to think about.
And good for him. I'm nothing against him. Good for him. Zuckerberg's at 2,000 times as much money as I do.
It's crazy to think there's a man out there that is in charge of all these cars driving around. Like, fuck, my mind, I can't wrap my brain around that still.
Good for you, Elon.
Yeah, for real. For real. I can't wrap my brain around that.
Yeah, I would never. I agree with your main point, by the way. I don't mean to change the subject.
Oh, no, you're good, yeah.
But just to put that in perspective is like, it's like Usain Bolt is, he's not twice as fast as I would be. And maybe he's, a few percent, maybe he's 20% faster than you because he's optimized for that, for that athletic feat, You're optimized for some different things. But there's nobody that's like 4,000 times faster or something.
Yeah, man. Elon is different. He's built different.
Another unique thing to think about athletes or that type of thing is like, I've thought about this with Gordon. Gordon Ryan is like, he's not just like the best grappler, but it's like the gap between, say, like Michael Jordan versus another
Kobe.
Great basketball player. Michael Jordan versus Kobe. I don't really care for LeBron James, so I don't want to say nothing nice about him. But I would say Michael Jordan versus Kobe Bryant. They're very close in their level of talent. You could argue 5 championships versus 6 championships. That's a pretty, okay. But they're both extraordinarily talented. And then we start looking at, I don't know, the gap between the two of them and maybe the next person and the next person. Well, the gap between Gordon, like who else is like close to Gordon in grappling?
Nobody.
Like the gap in, he's better at grappling than Michael Jordan was at basketball.
It's crazy. And you know what's so fascinating? It's the little details like here to here. That just those small, intricate details separates him this much.
I learned so much moving around with him. Learned so much. Like, you ever train with him or spend time?
Never.
If you ever have the opportunity to do it, for sure.
Yeah.
That I learned so much moving around with him that. I don't know how to explain it to somebody else, but it is what you say. He there's no energy wasted. There's no movement wasted. Every little thing is very calm and intentional. And he just has an elite map in his head of where everything is and how boop, 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 boop. And
it's fascinating to me too because it's just those small movements take hours and hours and hours and hours to perfect. For example, if I were to grab your wrist, you know what I'm saying? You roll it out, right? But it's just, if I didn't drill that a million times, maybe my rollout's a little slower. And that's the fights. My rollout being a little slower. Gordon Ryan probably, he's drilled things a million times over and over and over again. So he's optimal.
Yeah, those guys are great. The whole team's great down there. Shout out to Gordon Ryan. And you too, John.
Yeah.
Big Dan from that gym, he can come train with me this week. The guy's 320 or something and like super tall, big man.
Wow. Now, do you compete?
No.
Yeah.
I'm old. Everybody on the internet says I got to go win a competition, got to go win this and that.
No,
and
I'm
the trap of that, by the way, is like, but I never said I wanted to compete. From the beginning, I wanted to be lean, and I know that like, I've been a big guy my whole life, and if you're in your 20s and you're a big guy, somebody up just because you're young and you're a big guy, okay?
Yeah.
And then when you get older, and I still feel very confident, and I mean, I feel more confident than ever right now because I'm young enough.
Yeah.
And, you know, if we went to the fight gym together, there's plenty of things I could learn from you, and I respect that you're a professional and you're very good at things.
Vice versa.
But there's a few things
probably more than 20 I can learn from you.
From that list of people, there's things that I learned from them, and I'd be happy to give them credit for it. I didn't invent this. But there's plenty of things I could show you this or show you that, or, you know, at least we're in the same realm and having the same conversation. But so yeah, I feel good now. But like, you know, when you're like 65 or something, like if you ain't been training, if you're not like a legit trained fighter,
I want to have an arm wrestling competition with you. Just one. Just one.
Am I being set up? Am I being tricked?
I want to see. I want to feel the power.
Am I being tricked right now?
Oh, I'm the arm wrestling goat because I'm, you know, for my weight. I'm the goat for my weight.
Set it up. Let me take these bracelets.
Yeah, for
I'm
my weight.
left-handed, by the way.
Oh, you are left-handed?
We'll go right-handed since we're here. Let's see. I feel like I'm being set up.
No. For my weight, I'm
I'm being set up somehow.
Right.
Good thing I have control of these cameras.
Ready?
All right, sir. Whenever you're ready.
Go.
You got his whole weight. Look where my arm is versus his whole body.
I'm gonna go back.
Huh?
I can't do it. Damn. That's really good. I wanted to see because
now you had your body weight in there, which is good technique. That's not you can't criticize that.
Impressive, man. I couldn't even move his arm. Yeah. I couldn't even move it. Oh my! And I'm being serious. Like for my weight, I was always the arm wrestling goat against people around my size. You know, I don't lose.
No, I'm 270.
Yeah, but still, I wanted to feel it. You know what I mean? I wanted to feel it. He's legit, guys. He's legit, guys. He's legit.
At least they know the right arm's not too weak.
Yeah, and that's your weak arm too.
No, it is. Yeah.
I feel like a. I couldn't even move his weak arm. He's like, all right, whenever you're ready.
No, you put a lot of pressure on there though, and then your form was good. I see you have good awareness of where to put your body weight.
Yeah,
my body weight was sloppy. You know, when I'm here, I'm just using.
What's your left arm too, though? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, your right arm.
Which is my weak arm.
Yeah, your weak arm.
Yeah, you're putting all your weight on there. No criticism. Actually, a compliment. I see you're putting a lot of force on there because you're a good athlete. You're thinking of where to shift your weight.
Yeah, and I was like,
good muscle too.
Yeah, man, you're strong. Holy.
I hope so.
I've never arm wrestled somebody where I couldn't move them before. That was the first. I swear, that was the first. You're the first one.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're the first one. I've arm wrestled big grown men. I'm like, I've at least, you know, I've lost, but I've at least been able to move their arm. Couldn't even move his arm.
Yeah, that's my big win for the day.
Yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you're next.
Wow. Careful, Rock. You don't want no trouble. This man's very strong, pound for pound.
Hey, I'm just saying. Did you see my grip strength compared to Shaq's grip strength? I don't know if he tried it as hard as he wanted to, but I was like, he was 128 and I was 127.2 when they did the little grip strength thing. Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know how accurate that shit is. I have no
Shaq
idea, but it looked cool online. You know, it looked cool when I watched the video. I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool.
I seen Shaq at the fights a while ago down in Miami.
Yeah.
You know, I'm tall.
I was there.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
I was happy to see him. I never seen him in real life before.
So
I've never
nice,
seen him.
Man. He's really nice guy.
I never had a conversation with him.
Big fight fan too. Big fight fan. I had like this moment. So I went to a charity event with Shaq.
Yeah.
And you know, backstory. When I was a kid, I always wanted a pair of his shoes, and my mom could never afford it. She just couldn't afford it. And I always wanted a pair. And one day, I came home and she got me a pair. I don't know how. She, you know what I mean? It was just like she saved up and then got these shoes for me. And I was just like, you know, because Shaq was my idol growing up. You know, Shaq was the thing. I was like, I want to beat Shaq.
Yeah, he's a giant.
Yeah.
And a very talented giant.
Yeah. And so when I met him at the charity event, I was like, hey, Shaq, nice to meet you. My name's Osbourne. You know, I've been a big fan of you when I was a kid. You know, as I get older, like I said, I don't have like fans like that, but I still enjoy meeting people.
Sure.
And he goes, oh, I know who you are, man. Flyweight. I was like, damn. Like my head got a little big for a second. I was like, oh man, that's dope. That was cool. That was a cool moment. You know what I mean? That was a really cool moment. So he really pays attention to fighting.
Yeah, I've seen him on television at different fights, but I never met him in person, or I still never met him in person. I've just seen him at the fights down there, but I know he's into that to some extent. There's a picture. Claudia's got a picture choking him with a rear naked choke with standing behind him. He's got to sit down, of course.
Yeah. Have you seen Wei Lee lifting him up?
No, I did an interview with Wei Lee like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
But no, I never seen that. No.
Yeah.
She picking him up?
Yeah. Yeah, it goes to show you how strong she is, man.
I got a video of Claudia. She's 130, and she body lock and pick me up. And I thought she was just gonna pick me up and set me down. Then she does a little leg sweep and throws me on the mat.
I believe it.
I was like 270, but she body lock and pick me up.
Claudia's a force.
She got a lot of muscle for little girl. Got a lot of muscle.
She's a force, man.
Ode, what do they got to know about you? Where they find more information? What do you want them to know about you before we wrap up here, sir?
So I keep it short and sweet. Everything is the same on all platforms. It's Ode Osbourne on everything. I'm also launching a cigar company with my business partner, Brian Smith. It's called Triumph Cigars. That's coming soon. But short and sweet. Ode Osbourne, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I actually love LinkedIn. So if you guys get on LinkedIn, feel free to connect with me.
Check out Ode Osbourne. He's a good man, good fighter, and I tried to get to know you a bit, man. So thank you for taking the time.
I appreciate you having me. Appreciate it.
Respect.
Yeah.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.